Feel free to introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about what you guys do.
Absolutely. My name is Dylan. I am the president of 9020 Entertainment. 9020 is pretty much a creative company, a collective, where we pretty much just try to put the talent that we know is in the city and just put it out there. Just bring in exposure to, I guess, all the talent that is here and pretty much just building a platform for everyone. It's pretty much like its own monster that we're kind of creating in itself, but it's really about just giving back, building a platform, pushing the culture, and just doing as many projects, many creative projects as we possibly can. So that's my quick 5 second elevator pitch on
I
what
love
not.
it. And where did you get the idea from? What made you want to start an initiative like this?
Sure. So the idea really came from my cousin Clavis. He really wanted to build something in this city. I think we've always had conversations of how there was always talent, within this space of the country, but there's not really much happening. And we really wanted to create an ecosystem where we can bring people together and actually, establish relationships because we noticed that at least in the West Midlands, at least there's people kind of like to stay in their own corners, and once this one individual makes it, it's like, no one really knows how to build around that because they make it and then they kind of leave. And we were like, no, let's create something different where if we make it, well, we will make it. We're able to kind of streamline these things and build relationships with all kinds of people so that, we're building ties, we're building relationships, and on top of that, we're helping people. And so that was the initial idea behind 9020. And obviously, with a name, why do we have that name? This is obviously up for debate. I feel like you might agree, but essentially, when talking about, what we believe to be the golden era of art and creativity and music and fashion, we always say the 90s. Like you might say otherwise. Some people say no, some people say yes, but we obviously believe that, the 90s, I mean, you had so much creativity. I mean, everything was just so much cooler, I guess. And we wanted to bring the aesthetic and the golden era of the 90s and bring it into the 20s, this era where we're at now, because we're seeing a lot of people who are, I guess, somewhat a copycat of another person or a copycat of a certain aesthetic. And we wanted to kind of bring that authenticity back in our era. And so, hence, 9020, the 90s, the 20s, just merging that together and obviously bringing a whole new explosion of creativity because there are so many creative people who don't really get the shine or the recognition or even the platform. And so we were like, you know what, let's put this together. And that's how it was born.
Yeah, even with the 90s, and everybody likes to reference that era because it was so
Yeah.
powerful. What do you think
Yeah.
about that and how people influence it and also creatives creating new things like in 2025?
I mean, it's like when you look back at the 90s and, you look at that era and how you look at how people were coming up with things. Mind you, they didn't have the technologies that we have now. They didn't have the budgets that we have now. And yet they were still going out there and making things happen. I mean, some of my favorite movies were made in that era. And obviously CGI wasn't that strong. VFX wasn't that strong, but there was just something that was just so rich about it. And you look at that and that's the blueprint, music wise, movie wise, art wise, fashion wise. I mean, that's the blueprint. And so I look at that, we look at that and we're like, okay, they didn't have at least half of the resources that we have now, but they had something that was rich and authentic. Let's build on that. Let's create something that we know is dear to us because when you create something that's dear to you, people resonate with that. They resonate with the passion. They resonate with, the amount of grit and the amount of hard work that you put into it. And so we look at that and we're like, you know what, let's do the same thing. And graciously enough, people respond to that. People they can kind of recognize and see that, there's something real in here. And so obviously that reference from the 90s is what helps us to, to kind of take those risks and be like, you know what, look, they took the risk. They didn't have a studio behind them, and yet they were able to create something so beautiful. So why not us?
100%. And even you personally, I hear an American accent. What makes you so
Yes.
passionate about the UK music scene?
Yeah, well, so I came from Atlanta, Georgia, but I've been in the UK now for 13 years. So this is almost my home now, you could say that. And I think with the UK, I mean, when I came to this country, it was a massive culture shock for me, because being the ignorant American, I didn't think that there was so much around here. I didn't think that there was. And then I think when I was met with just all the diversity and the art and the music that was around here, I was like, wow, I was just blown away. And then just seeing the music scene, just seeing the art, just seeing people who do what they do, I was like, man, I want to not only do I want to be a part of this, but I want to be amongst the people who push it. And having the artists that I manage now, all of them are from the UK. Just seeing what they do, it's like this is amazing. This needs to be put out there. And so I guess this is why I get so fired up and passionate about what's here because not a lot of people know, and it's like if only they knew. So this is why I'm very set on pushing what we can do on every front and just supporting that and just building whatever platform that I can build in regards to what I see every day.
Yeah. And how do you find and connect with the artists that you know you want to promote and manage?
Mhm. I think what's amazing is that, when I have conversations with artists, especially here, um, I think one thing that's very prevalent and key with them is the hunger. Like they're just so ready to just take on the world, I guess. They're just so ready to just do stuff. And it's great for me because like I don't actually have to push them too much. They're almost kind of like pushing me. They're like, I'm so ready. I'm ready for the next project. I'm ready for the next single. And I'm like, yes, yes, you are. And I think it's amazing because it's like, I come in with a lot of passion and a lot of fuel, and they come in with that same energy, and it's like, great, let's do it. And I think that's beautiful because, no matter the obstacles that we face with regards to budgets or time or all these different constraints that you see, it's like that hunger that we have doesn't stop that. It's almost like I'm hungry, you're hungry, so we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make this project happen. We're gonna make this event happen, and it's exciting. It's exciting, especially with the fact that we're still in that building phase, and we're still figuring things out. It's just so fun to be able to do this because we're both super hungry, and we just want to make it happen, and then eventually things just do happen. So it's a very fun phase. If I'm being honest, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I feel like the passion, you can see it within you, and it's like so
Yeah.
exciting and like fresh to hear, I'll be so honest.
Thank
And
you. Yeah.
even like starting your events in 2023, how have you
Yeah.
seen the success of that, and what are your goals with creating these events?
Yeah, so I think with the events that we started in 2023, I guess the challenge that we found at the beginning was, I guess, making people understand what we're trying to do. I think when you start something new, it's like, you're always met with, well, what's this? What's that? It's all these different questions. And also, I would say is, I guess people looking at you like, well, what are you trying to do? So there's that resistance that's kind of met with people because, initially they don't know what you're doing, they don't really get it. So you kind of have to explain that, no, this is what this is. And we started with networking events for creative people. And within that space, we then were able to have performances be, gelled into that. And then off the back of that, we had, open mic events that were, slightly different in terms of the aesthetic. And so the beginning it was difficult, but it was very fun because what we were bringing to the game was something refreshing. Yes, it's networking events, but it has a little twist. Yes, it's an open mic event, but it has a little twist. And so introducing that to the people, it was fun, but it was also a game of patience because you don't expect people to get it immediately. So you had to be very patient and expect for them to kind of get it along the way. So we had to be very intentional with the concepts and very intentional with the marketing. So I think we had to do a lot of guerrilla marketing, just making people understand this is what we're doing and just being very consistent with everything that we put out. And eventually, as time went on, people understood, oh, okay, so this is what they're doing. Okay, let's join, let's be a part of it. And so it was definitely a lot of baby steps, but I'm very grateful for it, extremely. We're all very grateful for it.
Yeah, starting off with like creating the events, did you
Yeah.
believe in like this stigma of the UK as bad vibes and it's hard to get creatives into things?
Oh man, I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. The UK is bad vibes. I don't believe that it is. I think that of course there's good and bad people in every space. Like you can go to any country and then you'll find that there's people who aren't as, I guess, as optimistic as you are. There's a lot of people who are pessimists and that's okay. But I think essentially the reason why I kind of debate that term is because I think in the UK, you have to work harder to find your tribe. I think that with the ecosystem in America, it's easier to kind of find people who are like you. And I think in the UK, you have to work a little bit harder to kind of vet those people, and you have to really work super hard to build that community. And then once you have it, it's like, you have diehard people who will show up every time. And I think that's what's tougher in the UK. I mean, it's tough to attract that audience at first because you're kind of just, met with so much of this, and it's like, no, we're not trying to do this, we're trying to do that. And so trying to attract that audience at first is hard, because they're kind of in their own subsections, and you have to like pull them out of there. And once you do that, then it's like, yes, okay, we have it now, we have the audience. But at first, it's tough because um I guess, with the whole UK's bad vibes, it's not bad vibes, it's just that people are too cornered in their own sections. It's interesting. It's very interesting, but you just have to work really hard to make it worth their time.
Yeah.
That's what the plan is.
And what have you learnt the most from hosting these events? Is it more like the audience and the marketing, or what have you learnt from like a management perspective and behind the scenes and the artists?
Uh Man, I've learned a lot. I think some of the points that you brought up are definitely key in all the things that I've learned. I think with the messaging, that that is like the first point of contact. So how you present yourself, even down to the logo, even down to the colors that you use. I mean, these things are very important. And so we had to present ourselves as professionals, though we're not being paid for this, though we don't have a big studio budget behind us, we still have to be super professional in our aesthetic and our logo and the pictures that we take. So we had to make sure that, with the pictures that we take and the photographers that we work with, these are people who, are either professionals or they want to be professionals in that field. So the quality always had to be really good from the start. Um, in terms of marketing, I would say that consistency was our biggest advantage because once you advertise something enough times, people do catch on, people do see. And yes, sometimes you do have to go out of pocket and you do have to spend things yourself. Uh, it burns a little bit, but once you know why you're doing it, it helps. So I think we could be here all day if I talk about what I've learned. But I would say that the main thing that I've had to learn in in this um in this endeavor is grit, being resourceful, initiative, and also just being willing to take the first step. Not necessarily waiting for the perfect moment to happen because that never happens. You kind of have to create the perfect moment and then people catch on. But overall, it's a roller coaster that gets more and more fun as you go along. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say to that question.
I feel like what you said is almost a life lesson. Like everybody waits
Yes.
for the perfect moment to start a business or start a
Yeah.
new hobby. And it is true of like just taking the first step and figuring out as you go along is actually better
Absolutely.
than waiting and planning it out. And
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
almost that essence of like overthinking. But
Yeah. Oh man.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
even when it comes to like the Birmingham music scene, how do you see it progressing in the future?
I think that the talent is definitely there. Like it's almost scary how talented people are here. It's unbelievable. I think that the talent will only just get better. The hunger will just get better. I think that the drive will only get better. I mean, you see people, like I see people when they perform, at Bullring, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be late, but I need to see what's going on. Like that's how captivating it is. So I just think that it's just gonna get better and better. Like there's no denying what I see every day. I think that the ecosystem that, we're trying to build is only going to get stronger. So I know that there's going to be more collaborations. There's going to be more, team ups, which is, that's music to my ears. But I just really believe that it's only going to go up from here. I really see that people are waking up and people are seeing that, there's things happening here. We don't just have to go to London to see talent. We don't just have to go to Manchester to see talent. There's a lot of things going on here. And I just think that it's just gonna get better. Like it's just gonna get better and better. That's my genuine belief.
Yeah, I love to hear it. And for your event, Fades and Flows, July 5th, what sort of
That's right.
talent are we expected to see at this event?
Man, we're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see DJs, rappers, singers, all kinds of performers. We obviously have our three headline artists. Reaper, Some Honey, Family Business, our artist, Family Business, they're a boy band. But we also want to have a section where there's gonna be like an open mic section where whoever is just up to perform, they can just get up, plug their USB in, and then just go for it.
Yeah.
I think Phase and Flows is it's for the community. I think that's the heart of it. It's about community. So when we had our first event, what was so good about it was that, the barbershop is in a key area in the city. So you walk past it and you can't miss it. And so we had big speakers playing music. So you're seeing people walk past and they're like, oh, I'm hearing music from this barbershop. Let me see what's going on. And so that was like that in itself was marketing, but it attracted so many people. And we want to build that same energy on the fifth. And in terms of the talent, I mean, I know that there's the people who have requested to be a part of it, but I know that there's going to be some random guy who's just going to come in and freestyle.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to those moments because these are things that happened in the first event. Some guys just walked in. They were like, "Yeah, I heard music. I want to rap," and we were like, "Here's the mic." And
Yeah.
so that's the kind of talent that I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah, because I guess the inspiration can be sparked from anywhere and it's kind of
anywhere,
nice to just
anywhere.
let it flow. Like you don't need to
Yeah,
plan everything. Some things can just be
yeah,
spontaneous.
exactly. That's so
And
that
the
I'm
tickets,
really looking forward to that. Genuinely.
exactly. And the
Mm.
tickets for this event are free. Why do you think it's important for it to be accessible that anybody can join?
They're free. So we went after a lot of discussions. We were like, let's do it free because this event is going to be in Wolverhampton, and this is where I live. This is where I've been for the last couple of years, and our main goal, especially with Fades and Flows, is to bring a lot of noise to the city. And so we were like, what's something that we can do for the culture? What's something that we can do for the city? And we were like, let's do this event, obviously in this barbershop that's obviously a staple in the city, but let's make it free so that anyone can pull up, anyone can show up. Of course, you can obviously register and get your tickets, but that obviously helps us in terms of analytics just to kind of see the impact that we've brought to the city. But we're doing it free because we just want to give back. We just want to build something in the city. We just want to give people something to look forward to, and also to bring a lot of noise to the artists in the city to say that, hey, you can do this, come to this event. You don't have to pay. We're not charging you. Just show up. And I really believe that this is going to build a lot of momentum for the city, for the culture, and also for 9020. So we're starting free because this is mainly about quality. We want to bring quality. We want to bring people together. We want to build culture. And so I don't think that you need to put a price tag on that, especially when it's an experience that many people will remember. I think making it free will definitely stay with people. So that's the plan.
I think it's refreshing for such an exciting event to be happening in Birmingham. As you
Yeah,
said, there's always events happening in London and Manchester, but I
yeah,
feel like there isn't really many things happening in Birmingham. And for it to be accessible and anybody can go to it, you never know what's going to happen. And that's the excitement
exactly.
of it. You don't know what artists are going to pull up. You don't know what bars people are going to spit.
Oh, there you go. There you
It's just,
go. I think, yeah, it's all about um just bringing the excitement back.
yeah,
That's what we want to do. Just give people something to look forward to. What's happening in Wolverhampton, Fades and Flows is happening.
yeah,
And so that's what we want to build.
yeah. Well, perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.